Right, okay, watcher, welcome back. Right, we're going to break with the spanners for a day and do something a bit different. This video is, before we get stuck into our project, I want to do this particular video. I had a request by my kid brother Lee to do a specific message, to get a message out to all of you that watch our videos on a matter that's very, very important and certainly very close to his heart and something that can most definitely help us. Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Okay, so what this is about, my kid brother Lee, this is Lee, has asked me to do a little video to just get some information out to our viewers, to you, the motorcycling community, and see if this is something you might be interested in. It's something that certainly would have helped him recently. Let me explain a bit more about it. This is what my brother does, or has done, for a very large amount of his 30-year career. Now, as you can see, as a helicopter paramedic, his job takes him predominantly to road traffic collisions, so he's seen an awful lot of mess on the roads over 30 years, he really has. And in this instance, he's no longer doing that at the moment. He's currently working for Queensland Ambulance Service in Australia. He emigrated a few years ago. I miss him a great deal and we're very, very proud of him. And his lovely wife, they have a fantastic life there in the sunshine. And he just recently contacted me and said, I had a horrible, horrible call. A young man was hit by a truck. He was riding down a road that gets 2 or 3 cars down it a day, and just a bad luck, wrong place, wrong time, it collected the front of a big 4x4 with big nudge bars on the front, and he collected it. That was it. It was incompatible with life. I'm afraid the young man did lose his life, and my brother had to clear that up. They worked valiantly on him for a long time to try and save him, but I'm afraid it was just beyond it. So in that instance, what happened at the end, the young man had no ID on him, no identification, no name, no nothing, couldn't find a wallet. The young man's bag, his kit had gone all over the place, his bike had broken into 2 halves, there was no number plate anywhere to be found, and they didn't know who he was. Now this young man's just passed away, they had no idea who he is. There was another rider in the group. That other rider was the father of the young man. Now, that man has just witnessed his son pass away in front of him. What a horrible thing. What a devastating thing to have to watch. And then you have to sit there and give his details. Really? Surely that young man should have had some ID on him. That would have really helped. It would have helped his father not have to sit there and read off his name and date of birth and age and address and everything else. He could have just dealt with his grief privately. And obviously my brother and his crewmate, they wouldn't have to go through a harrowing time of questioning a devastated, bereaved man on things they don't really want to be asking him, but they have to know, they have to ask because it's important, especially when they're trying to treat him still. So that young man should have had some ID, and that's what it is. If you're in the armed forces, if you've been in the army, any of the armed forces around the world, you know you always carry some form of ID on you. Dog tags, a tag on your uniform. If you go back, if you're a little bit older, like my age, you used to have a regimental tattoo with your little blood group on and so on. Everything was there, basically to identify who you are if something went wrong. But as bikers, we don't really do that, do we? I mean, let's face it, motorcycling is a profoundly dangerous pastime. We ride up the road on a machine that can do up to 200 miles an hour, propelling you into the scenery and oblivion. We're surrounded by cages and steel boxes driven by all manner of lunatics, the mentally infirm, the elderly and unable, and downright stupid and homicidal. We've all been there, haven't we? We know what it's like, and yet we still do it, and we ride around without any ID. I always carry a wallet in my bag, and I didn't know that that was kind of really the wrong way to do it. My brother said to me, the guy's bag had gone, it was all over the place, his stuff was strewn everywhere, such was the collision. Now I'm rethinking that now, and I'm going to be doing what he suggested, and this is what my brother suggested. Okay, so there's a couple of things you can do. Firstly, what my brother said, what Lee said to me is, you get some stuff on the crash helmet. When you've got, this is my day lid, it's what I wear. I've got other helmets as well, and I'll be putting some information on them, but this helmet is what I wear in the dark and the rain at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm riding down the countryside to go to work. This is the lid that is most likely to need this treatment. And it's this area on the front of the chin bar, if it's a full face helmet, or that side there, which is suggested is the right place to put this information. And the information suggested is quite simple, quite straightforward. It's this. Can you see that pen? It's name, let me come over there. Now this is, you can do this credit card size. Name, Simple as that. Stick it that way. Can you see that? Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just want your name, and then a little line, and your full name. Just use your full name, not acronyms, pseudonyms, usernames, YouTube names, nicknames, nothing. Just put your own proper name. Okay, underneath that, date of birth, which is always helpful, and ICE. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but ICE is in case of emergencies. The emergency services, that's not just paramedics and ambulance, but also police, fire service, they all love their mnemonics, they love their acronyms, and supposed to the armed forces do it as well. So ICE is in case of emergency. You put it in your phone. If you get, like me, you've got a crappy little £5 phone, in here, in my phone book is ICE1 and ICE2. So if the paramedic or a police, if something's happened to me, they're rolling through my phone book looking for her phone number, they see ICE1, they just press send and that rings her phone. Or ICE2 and that rings the house phone. So that's a sensible thing to do. Get ICE1 and 2 into your phone and also put it on there. ICE and then a telephone number. You could don't put next of kin, because next of kin is not really relevant. Sometimes you can do good, you can think you're putting the right thing, but you're not putting the right thing, like a blood group. You don't need a blood group. Blood group on this instance is irrelevant because the paramedics are not going to give you blood at the roadside, and even if you get a hospital, they're not going to need your blood group. They'll work it out for themselves. They'll do bloods, they'll check, they'll make sure, even if you tell them. Those of you ex-forces may remember back in the day we used to get it tattooed on, your blood group. Doesn't mean anything now. They won't use that information in case it's wrong, and then they can get sued. You know what it's like. So, things like ICE, real simple, real basic. In case of emergencies, ring that number. And the final thing there, which is this thing, NKDA. See that one?
Yep.
Right, NKDA is another little mnemonic. It stands for no known drug allergies. Now, obviously, it's important to the paramedics that they can give you some pain relief, and I'd imagine quite important to you. If you're wailing in pain because you've just had your leg busted sideways. So if they can put that into, if they stick morphine into you only to find out you're morphine intolerant or allergic, you can go into anaphylactic shock and they've made your situation all the worse, and they don't want to do that. Paramedic comes out, they've got two things to do. They do an initial primary survey, they look over you. The primary survey is just the first three things. It's the airways, breathing, circulation, just making sure you're alive. Then they do a secondary survey to check you for injuries and so on. And in amongst that, they're going to be giving you pain relief, they're going to put an IV in to make sure they can issue some pain relief. And if you've got an allergy to that, they need to know. So if you've got a drug allergy, stick it on there. What about conditions? If you've got any of the big medical conditions, if you've got asthma, if you're diabetic, if you've got emphysema, any of that, any of the breathing disorders, just put COPD. If you've got a breathing disorder of some kind, like asthma, you'll know what COPD means, another mnemonic. Remember, all these mnemonics, NKDA, ICE, all of that, they're all written in your medical notes. If you were to find your doctor's medical notes, you'll see NKDA written in it. It's a medical profession standard. They all understand it. So use them, and you're talking to them in their language quickly. So if you, for instance, put diabetic at the bottom, instead of them, you might just put diabetic. Now, if they find you unconscious at the side of the road, and they wonder why you're unconscious, and they look at your helmet there, and it says, Joe Blogg's date of birth, diabetic. They're going to go, right, straight away they do a blood sugar test. First thing they do, prick your finger, blood sugar test, what? It's blowing 1.5. He's having a hypoglycemic attack, let's get some treatment into him, bang, tea and medals, job done. But if they don't know that you're diabetic, they're going to be spending a long time floundering around trying to find out what it is. They'll do that test, but a blood sugar test is a late thing. You wouldn't do that when you've got an unconscious motorcyclist at the side of the road. You're going to imagine straight away he's obviously banged his head and he's unconscious because of an impact. So you see, you can help these paramedics, these professionals that come out to help save your life when you've got it all wrong. You can help them a little bit, and that's helping yourself, which is the point I made at the beginning. Now, you may have no desire to have such things on the front of your crash helmet. Me, this is my work lid, I don't care. But I've also got my roof boxer, which is matte black, and it looks cool. There's no way I want that plastered all over the front of it. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. Now, take a piece of card, credit card size, and print the information on it. Write all that information on it. You can, on the other side, you could put your postcode, your address, anything else you want noted, your medical notes, anything at all. Then, take that card and tuck it, let's show you a bit closer up. Tuck it up inside the crash helmet lining. Right. You see in there, Pen? Just tuck it up there, inside the lining.
Turn it round.
Like that. You see that?
Yep, right at the top.
Right at the top, just in there, look. You just tuck that in. Now, obviously, paramedics going to know that that's in there. They don't know that's in there. So the easiest way to get them to know is go down to your local, mind that, go down to your local stationery store and get a little green dot or a little green star or a little green cross, because again, the medical profession uses specific colours. They always use green and yellow. So if you go and get a little stationery office, yellow or green sticker, and just put that on the right hand eyebrow side of your visor, that indicates to the medics that come out to see you that you've got some information inside your crash helmet. Remember, your crash helmet will always go to hospital with you. They will take that to hospital to find out what's wrong. They're going to look at your head, not necessarily the paramedic at the side of the road. They will extract your helmet from your head. They do it in a very special, trained way. They'll remove your helmet and they'll keep it very safe. It goes in the helicopter, it goes in the ambulance, whatever, and it goes to hospital with you, always. So they may not find that card straight away, but when they get to hospital, the doctors may have a little look, because what they start doing, they'll look inside your helmet for impact. They'll see a big bash there on the outside. They'll look inside. Has that come in? Has that ingressed into the helmet? Because they're thinking, have you got an injury at this side of your head? They're looking to see. So the helmet is a great source of information to the medical profession if you make a mistake and get it wrong. If you've come off your bike, you've bashed your head hard, they will get all manner of information from that. And what a better place could there be to put the information they need than inside it? Okay. So I think that if you can do something like that, that's from my brother Lee's asking me to put this video together. I know it's nothing to do with garage videos, but it is to do with bikes. It is to do with us keeping each other safe, and that's what all this is about. We don't do it for any other reason. And that there is what you need. Name, date of birth, in case of emergency phone number, and NKDA if you have no allergies. If you do, then put them on. If you have any pre-existing conditions, put them on. Put whatever information you deem relevant. Whatever it is, it will help. If it's irrelevant to them, they'll just ignore it. You can't put too much information on there. But irrelevant information like blood groups, things like that, doesn't matter. It's not important. Don't put them down because they don't need to know that.
It's also helpful when these groups get together from forums where you don't have your real names and you don't really know the person.
Very much so. Very much so, yes. If you are with a group of bikers from a forum, like we have the Idiot Collective, you all know each other as Smudge and Spike and Penny Pitstop and Delboy. It's important that also those people know your proper name. So that if the paramedic asks, excuse me mate, what's this guy's name? Oh, I know him as Smudge. It's not really very cool, is it? It's important that everybody knows who you actually are. And also, again, if you're riding with friends in a group and one of you has a situation, we have actually had that, haven't we? One of our lot went on a big ride out and one of our lot was diabetic and he had a little bit of a turn and he just pulled over and stopped and we're all able to help him. So it's one of these things, when you're riding in a group, tell people about yourself. If you have a condition, not everybody wears a talisman. Talisman are great things, they really are, but they're voluntary, people don't always wear them. And also, not all medics will look for a talisman. They've got other things to do. They've got your life to save. So I hope that this message is relevant to you. I hope you don't mind us interrupting the fun in the garage to do something a little bit more serious. If you get the chance, go and get some of that rub down sticky letters. What do you call it?
Letraset.
Letraset.
Or get a sticker made.
Sticker made, Vistaprint, credit card size sticker, Vistaprint, they'll do that sort of thing. And then that, as far as I'm concerned, is all you need to do to help the paramedics who are there to help you. And I hope, Lee, that is what you wanted, bro. That's the sort of thing we do. Anything else, Pen?
Could I just say a very special hello to someone?
Oh, yes.
I've got a very young viewer, fan, called Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi,
all the way from England. Just saying hello.
And Jeffrey's just how old?
6.
6 years old. Hey, Jeffrey watches the videos with his dad, don't he? Fantastic. Hi, Jeffrey.
Thank
Take
you.
it easy and do what your dad says. Okay, anything else, Ben?
Thank you.
Okay, take it
Be
easy.
safe.
Be safe and make sure you do this to your lid as soon as you get a chance. See you next time.
ET41, baby, that's for me. M-O-O-N-F-L-E, ET41, baby, that's for me. Yeah, Devil's gonna ride, yeah, yeah, yeah. Devil's